Hello, my little crafty monsters. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is fabulous. So, in today's fabulous tutorial, we are going to be making these little adorable shaker cards. How cute are these little gingerbread house shaker cards? Right? And they're super simple. Now, there's several steps in creating these little bad boys, but I can assure you these are so adorable that they're completely worth it. So you definitely want to make these guys because they are so cute. Now, these are probably not the type of cards that you want to send out in the mail because they're kind of a little bit thick. So you know, the post office is a little funky when it comes to things like that. But if you're gonna hand these out, if these are gonna be like invites, if these are gonna be going to like your children's teachers or anything like that, these are perfect. There's only a few supplies that you need to have, and like I said, you will definitely, it's going to be really easy. And we are going to be popping out with this new MayMay stamp set. So let's get cracking on this and let's get started on it. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, my little crafty monsters. So right here we have the card bases, and we're going to get a sheet of white paper. This is a 65-pound, but I would recommend you use like 110 pounds, something a little heavier, so it's a little bit more sturdier. But we're going to cut these down to 5 1/4. Okay, so 5 1/4 to 4 inches. And these are going to be the mats. Now, if you guys don't know about card bases and mats, I do have a tutorial in our Paper to Masterpiece channel, and you guys could check that out. So right here, I'm just gonna ink the edges of the card bases just to give them a little bit more color. And we're gonna use the, I believe this is fire brick or something like that. So we're just gonna do the edges just to give them a little color. And you don't have to be too neat about this because basically the card mat that we're gonna make is gonna cover up the center part of this card, so you're gonna be really okay with it. And we're going to just basically work on the mat, which is the most complicated part. I mean, it's easy, but it just takes a lot of steps. Right here, I'm just gonna measure where I want the little gingerbread house to be. And I want it kind of like off to the left side. And I have here a Stamp Perfect, and this is a discontinued item. So you guys would have to get the Misty, or maybe even the We Are Memory Keepers stamp tool, or you guys could get the Tim Holtz. But this one right here in particular, I'm not even going to put a link because it is discontinued. Trust me, I've looked for it. It was just taken off. So right here, I'm stamping the little gingerbread house. And I'm just making sure that the gingerbread house is pretty dark because I want it to be pretty crisp and dark. Just to look a little bit more professional. Now, I'm not too worried about the center part, like the little, the window or the door, because that's going to be cut out. And we're going to stamp the little house on a different sheet of paper. And this sheet of paper we're going to basically use just to cut out the roof, the chimney, and the door, as well as the window. So this part right here, you do want the window, the door, and the roof and chimney to be perfect, because we're going to use this one to color and then cut out. So I thought I was going to have room for 2, but it's not going to work. So I had to get a different sheet of paper. And right here, we're just going to ink up the stamp and do our second little gingerbread house. These stamps by MayMay are so adorable. I mean, I've been a club member for about a year and something months, and these ones are, I don't know, I just love them. You want to make sure that you always clean your stamps because you don't want to put them away with ink on them. They just last a lot longer if you keep them up. And right here, we're going to stamp the little gingerbread. We're also going to color them. I'm using a mixed media because I'm going to use watercolor markers and I'm going to be making them pretty moist. So I don't want the regular paper to get messed up. So you want to use a mixed media, or even watercolor paper would work perfect for using watercolor markers. Right here, we're just going to do 2 gingerbread men because we're doing 2 cards. I'm going to make more of these cards. I'm just making 2 right now for the video. And like I said, these are typical cards that you are not going to send out on the mail because you will pay about $3.50 because they will mark them as packages and not cards because they're a little thicker and they don't bend because you got the little foam tape. Now we're just gonna glue. No, we're basically gonna stamp the sentiment in the middle of the card. You want to do that now before you put the card together because it's gonna be a little bit harder. I thought seasoned greetings would be the perfect sentiment for this card. And like I said, always clean up your stamps because you want to keep them in perfect condition at all times. Not only perfect conditions, but it'll keep them ready for your next project so you don't have to do that extra step on cleaning them. Now right here, I'm just going to use this little snowflake and I'm going to do some snowflakes all around in the background because I don't want the background to be too plain. So we want to give them a little something. And so I'm going to use this distressed, it's blue. I think it's broken china or something like that. I'll definitely put the description and the actual color shade, but I think it's broken china. Right here I'm using a paper so I could stamp off of the paper just to give them those extra, like, you know, the snowflakes are off of the paper. But I don't want the ink to be on my pad. And right here I use the little X-Acto knife to cut out the center of the gingerbread house because that's going to basically be the shaker card. We're not worried about the window or even the snow because we're going to use those extra pieces to go on top of this, and trust me, it's going to all come together. This little X-Acto knife works perfect. It's by Fiskars. Now right here, I'm going to use the little windows from here, and I'm just going to cut out the little squares just so that the window will be hollow and you'll be able to see through them like an actual window. These cards are so easy, guys. I want to see what you guys come up with. I mean, even if you don't have this stamp set, you could use any gingerbread house that you have. You just have to let your mind go and let your creative juices flow, and trust me, you will be so satisfied with the end result. I'm just going to measure right here how big of an acetate I'm going to have to use. And right here I measured 3 inches by 3 1/4. So we're going to cut a 3 inch by 3 1/4 acetate, and this is what we're going to glue in the back part to hold all of our sequins or confetti, whatever it is you're using. If you're using glitter, confetti, sequins, it all works. Now we're just going to glue it, and I'm going to use Tombow glue because Tombow glue would basically stick with the slick surfaces like acetate or plastic or metal or wood. It actually holds pretty good when you're going to stick something to paper. So I always use Tombow glue, and that's basically what we use here. And I use my tweezers to kind of center it. It's just easier to maneuver. Let those dry, and we're gonna work on our next thing, which is coloring. And I use my dual brush Tombow markers, which you all know, those are my to-go markers. We're gonna do some blonde hair, so I'm gonna use yellow. And then we are going to use a saddle brown, which is my go-to brown for hair or anything that I want to make it look like it's kind of baked and toasty brown. I'm going to use my colorless blender to bring out the color. So it's lighter in the middle, but it's darker at the edges. This is the way I shade and color because I'm colorblind and it's harder for me, but it works. Now you guys could use any markers you want, color pencils, crayons, anything that works for you guys, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm more comfortable with the Tombow dual brush pen, and this is my go-to markers. Now you could use water or you could use your colorless blender. It both works the same way. I'm going to just add a little bit of gray to the white just to make it pop. And right here, I'm going to color the door brown to kind of make it look like wood. I'm not really too 100% sure if I made it look like wood, but for the most part, I know I wanted the door to be brown. And then we're going to bring out the other colors and we're going to color the little window red. And we're going to color the same red to the roof because I wanted a red roof. So we're going to bring out the little house and do the roof here. And I'm going to use a colorless blender just to blend out that red, just to make it a little bit lighter on the top. Excuse me. And then I'm going to color the chimney the same color. Now right here, we're just gonna fussy cut it. I'm using my Tombow, I think they're ion scissors. I will definitely use the link in the description to let you guys know what the name of these scissors are, but these are amazing when you're gonna do fussy cutting. Now we're gonna cut out the other little rooftop and the chimney. Then we're gonna cut out the door and the window. And we are almost done with this card, my little crafty monsters. I'm telling you, it's a lot of steps, but it is completely worth it, because once you make a shaker card like this, the little gingerbread shaker card, it is so cute. I really like how this card came out. So just cut out your doors and your windows. Whatever gingerbread house you make, I'm pretty sure it's gonna have windows and doors. Just cut those out and place them where originally that stamp is gonna be at, and you could make a whole little scene if you don't have this stamp set. So right here, we're just gonna cut out the little gingerbread bin. Super easy step. I'm telling you guys, these scissors make fussy cutting so much easier. I'm not trying to sell these. I'm just telling you from experience. I've had a lot of scissors and these work for me. They definitely work. I'm going to use my black marker to go on the edges of every cut that I make. And this is just to make it a little bit more sharper, more professional looking, because you don't want that white core to show. Trust me, right now on the camera you can't tell, but in person, this step makes a world of a difference. Now we're here, we're just going to use the double-sided foam tape. This is the Scotch mounting foam, and I double it up just to make it a little bit thicker, just so I could put extra sequins or confetti, whatever you're going to use. Just kind of size it up. There really is no rule to it. It's just basically making a box so that your confetti or sequins or glitter will stay in the middle. And then I just size it up in the middle and cut it. You could use a ruler to make it a little bit easier and to be a little bit more accurate, but for some reason this worked for me. So right here, I'm just gonna fill the rest of the empty space with that Scotch foam tape. just so the card itself won't be so wonky. Okay, so now let's start putting this little bad boy together. So right here, I'm just measuring where I'm gonna throw the confetti because the card mat is smaller than the card base. So if I had this upside down, it's gonna be a little bit hard for me to center it. So I have to do it from the top this way. So you're just gonna have to center the confetti, glitter, whatever you're gonna use in the middle, and kind of try to put the card mat on top perfectly and evenly. Now we're just going to glue the little rooftop. If you're going to glue on paper, I would use regular Aleene's glue because that's my go-to adhesive. But if you're going to glue on the actual acetate, you definitely want to use something stronger like Tombow glue. You cannot use hot glue gun because you're going to melt the plastic. And then our little gingerbread will go on the front. And we're just going to repeat the process for the second card. Now, if you guys make any shaker cards, I definitely want to see what they look like. You guys should definitely go to our Facebook page and upload your pictures there. Show us what you guys made. I would love to see your creations. So now when we're done with the little gingerbread house and the gingerbread man, we are going to put a sentiment on the front of it. Right here I'm trying to see what I'm going to use, and I'm going to use this Lawn Fawn snow globe stamp set, and it's going to say ready, let it snow. I'm also going to use these Lawn Fawn die sets that are going to be, I think they're the banner die sets. So I'm going to need my Sizzix. I love these die sets. They work so awesome. And they're kind of 3D-ish, so they'll pop. Bring out my Sizzix, and I was going to do them on this white paper, but I decided that I'm going to do them on like an ice blue construction paper. So once we got these ready, we're just gonna get our stamps and stamp them. And then once we stamp the sentiment that you want on these banners, then you're just gonna have to glue them and it's gonna be ready. Now, if you want this to curve, it's always best to put on an acetate and curve it and pick it up with your block. It's just a little trick. So your sentiment stays curved. Now we're just gonna crease these on the fold. And we're gonna fold these on the crease. Sorry. And then we're gonna glue these onto our card and we are basically done. How cute are these cards? I really love how these came out. So that sentiment pops out just to give it that extra. Welcome back, my little crafty monsters. So that's how easy it is to make these little bad boys. I hope that inspires you guys to make some shaker cards. Now you can use different types of gingerbread stamp homes that you have, or you could draw one out or whatever. You can make shaker cards of any type of Christmas stamp that you have. It's really, really easy, just the way I did it on these easy steps. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button and also that notification button. And also share the video, tell a friend, because your friends need to know how fabulous these videos are. And once again, guys, until next time, goodbye.